All right, all you fantastic, fabulous football fanatic freakazoid fans. I'm your host, Adrian.
It's your boy,
It's your
Chris.
boy, Chris. Yes, sir. And welcome back to another episode of Point After Podcast, where we recap, review all of last week's football games, and tell you our thoughts, give you some stats, some numbers, our love, our hates, and everything in between. And yeah, before we get started, I'd like to present the crown once again.
Are we in trouble, boys? Are we choking?
He's pulling an AFC South here.
Are we pulling what was it, 07 Cowboys, where they lost every game in December and missed the playoff?
Every December's season, every season when it hits December for the Miami Dolphins. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, we the Dolphins in cold weather. We're in trouble. The ship is sinking. The wings are slipping out of my grasp.
They were never in your grasp.
They were in my grasp.
They were never.
Just maybe not as firm as we thought. But yeah, we are well into the back nine of this season.
Yes, sir. As the number of weeks of this NFL season goes down, so does the price of Dallas Cowboys tickets.
Yeah, so we're keeping an eye out.
Dude, say the word. I'll front the tickets.
I don't know. We'll see. I think we can hold. Keep holding.
Dude, how cheap do you think those tickets are gonna be after we lose to Carolina?
Dude, they'll be paying us.
Week 15.
Let's go. I'm not rooting for it. I'm not rooting for them to lose, but I'm not gonna act like it doesn't directly benefit me.
Either way, I win.
Either way, because yeah, dude. I mean, look at my name. Good draft pick and cheap tickets.
Yeah.
It's my ideal world.
But anyway, yes, sir. If I win one more, if I win this week, I'm 100% putting an MS Paint gold crown right on top of my little God. Dude.
Relax.
Yeah, as a little graphic.
Relax.
It'll be like one of those VTuber accessories.
Oh yeah. We should do a VTuber episode. That would be so funny.
Yeah, I don't think I have a VTuber harness, much less a model. I don't have $300 to drop on one.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. I'm trying to buy Dallas Cowboys tickets on a losing season.
Yeah.
You think I have money for a VTuber model?
Fair enough.
I don't know. Maybe we can get our Bitmojis to do it for us.
That would be crazy. I'll look into that. But yes, the season is winding down. Each game from here on out is going to matter exponentially more than the last one.
Yes, sir.
And this is when things are starting to get really interesting. Playoff implications are everywhere. Teams are fighting for their lives. Some teams are out of it, but that means they're fighting for a better draft pick. So everyone's got to grind.
Everyone's still got a dog in this fight.
Everyone's still got a dog. It's just, do you have a Great Dane or a 12-year-old Chihuahua?
You know what they say? It's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight in the dog.
This is true.
I don't know who said that. It's probably a World War II American general quote.
Probably no, it's probably MLK maybe, or
MLK. I can Google. I'm googling this right now.
Maybe it's a proverb. Maybe it's a. No, you know what? My final answer is Stephen Hawking.
Oh, I lied. It's Mark Twain.
I was close. Mark Twain.
All right.
But yeah, okay. Well,
there you go.
You guys learned something.
Look at us educating America's youth.
We're educating the masses.
Exactly. You know, I'm just saying that with current politics, you know how I believe there's that thing where people can nominate people of like great stature for different cabinet positions. I don't know if you heard about that. I'm just saying. I know somebody got like put into like the Department of like Education. How set is in stone is that? Because I think they could get us, for like half the price.
They could, but we got some steep competition. The lady that got appointed to the Department of Education cabinet position is Vince McMahon's wife.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have to bust out the steel chairs if we want that.
Dude, I'll get into the Iron Dome with Vince McMahon and his wife.
That would be crazy.
We'll Thunderdome this over who gets to educate the masses.
Getting in the steel cage. This is directly after the Milk Mile.
Yes, exactly. Which I know we don't talk about fantasy, like this isn't like a fantasy football podcast,
right?
But another crushing loss. I had enough points to beat half the league. It just so happened that like the final day, like Monday Night Football, I go in with a 20-point lead, and I still managed to lose by 6. There was a lot of things that went horribly wrong for me, and everything that could have like gone well for my opponent went really well.
Joe Mixon
specifically, but like I had Nico Collins on my team, and he had like a crazy like catch and run for like I think it was like 47 yards that got called back for a penalty. I'm like, gosh darn it,
dude, that is so rough.
Not to mention, a Brandon Aubrey field goal. That's like another 3 points, right? Penalty. Let's not keep the points on the board. Let's erase them.
And then he misses.
And then he did have a miss earlier, yeah. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. The Milk Mile is
it's looming.
How secure is the Milk Mile? Probably more secure than me getting those wings. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I for one, I'm very excited for the Milk Mile.
I'm sure you are. I've started training.
The content is going to be insane. It's the best thing we've ever produced.
If you would have joined the fantasy league, I'm sure you would have hit the Milk Mile.
No, I would probably be undefeated.
Yeah? Well, then why didn't you join?
It's a busy time
scared?
for me right now. No,
he's scared, guys. Guys, he's scared.
I'm not scared.
It's afraid.
No. See, what he's trying to do is he's trying to goad me into joining him on the Milk Mile.
But I mean, you're more than welcome to. No one said you can't.
That is your cross to bear, my friend.
Perhaps. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Who can say, really?
I can.
What if I just hold out on the Milk Mile?
Adrian's holding out on the milk.
I'm holding out on the Milk Mile.
That would be that'd be tragic, but you know what? I would defend your right.
You defend my right to hold out?
I would say, you know what, guys? It might look bad, but Adrian's just simply doing what's best for him. He wants to be paid more.
Yeah.
He understands. You gotta understand. He's like almost for sure gonna throw up. It's like basically guaranteed, and
it's a done deal.
Yeah, I mean it's impossible not to. I think even without running, like if you drink a gallon of milk, like it's impossible to not throw up.
I don't think I could physically drink a gallon of milk. Like
that's hard, dude. That's a lot of milk.
Even like a gallon of water, like I don't think I could.
Liquid.
It is a lot of liquid. Like I definitely have like down like a liter of like water before. And why am I using the metric system? It's just because like my big hecking water bottle
it's a better system.
It's a 2-liter water bottle. So like I've definitely downed half of that in like one sitting for sure, but like never the whole thing.
Well, we're pushing the limits of what is humanly possible.
This is correct.
On the show.
Yes.
are pushing the boundaries.
I do want to point out that just because I have to run the milk mile, right? Or might have to, I should say. There's a chance, right? Doesn't mean there's no clause that says I cannot immediately I can't not puke. Like
No, I
no.
mean, yeah, it's like almost a given that you will. You just gotta finish that mile.
Just get it. That's the only thing that matters. I have to finish the mile and the milk.
But you know what? Is that any worse than just running already? Running already sucks.
Not really.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. You're just being soft.
I'm not soft.
I have my coffee here.
I'm an O lineman. We don't run. Obviously.
No. There's been some thick boys who have ran.
That's true. There are some big boy touchdowns.
There was a big boy touchdown. It was defensively though. On Monday night.
There was.
But anyway. You want to get
started? Drink milk?
Maybe he did.
Maybe that's how he got so big and strong.
Yeah, he's got big bones from drinking milk.
But yeah, anyways. That was our banter. That was our little yap sesh.
Yeah, well, I mean, this entire show is just us yapping and educating.
Letting the people know. I'm talking about
milk and miles. Did you know that 1 mile is equal to 1 mile?
No way. Are you sure? That doesn't sound right.
I don't know why. That's so dumb.
That's like the did you know every minute in Africa 60 seconds pass.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna get a message about oh, you need to clip that.
For real. That can be clipped. That's going in the I'm excited. We got it because we actually have to make a milk mile video.
Yeah.
It's gonna go in a
Here's the thing. I know plenty of people that can just hold a camera and point it at me as I'm doing laps, right? But I don't know anybody other than 2 people who are usually pretty busy who can edit the video, which means I'm going to have to watch all of that footage and edit it down.
By the time it rolls around, I'll have a lot more time, so I can definitely come by and we can edit it together.
Oh no! I think if I'm gonna I'm gonna put it together. I'm gonna piece this absolute peak cinema that y'all about to watch in a couple of weeks, and we're gonna premiere it. You know?
Yeah. I just want to do the play-by-play.
Yeah, I'll have it here, on the stream, right? And then I'll have us at the corner reacting to it.
Right. Well, I'm gonna be there as well when it goes down.
Yeah, but we're gonna watch the super edit cut.
Right.
And then when I hit 10 million views on it, we'll release this Zack Snyder cut.
The director's cut. The extended edition.
The extended edition. Yeah.
The super fan cut.
Exactly.
Well, anyways. I know we're all excited for the milk mile.
I don't know who's all excited. It's definitely not me.
I think you're excited.
I'm excited for the content that it's going to bring, but I'm not excited to do it. So if any of my fantasy league players want to start tanking now to save me,
no stand-ins. Unless I guess if they genuinely lose, I'll allow it. But no, no one's standing in.
DM me and I'll throw in a $25 gift card to B-dubs or something.
No tanking.
No intentional tanking.
No intentional tanking.
What about unintentional tanking?
I think that's just called losing.
No, start tanking so you can get the better draft pick for next season.
Yeah. But anyways,
I know we've said that like 4 times.
We had
Thursday night football.
Thursday night football.
Yes, sir. So we had
Commanders
Thursday night
at the
football.
Eagles.
Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington losing 18-26 against Philadelphia. Jaden Daniels, looked like Jaden Daniels, 22 for 32, 119 yards, 1 touchdown with 1 interception. Jalen Hurts, 18 for 28, 221 yards. Um, again, like this team, the Eagles, is carried by the performance that Barkley is able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really what it is. It was a pretty like close first half. From what I remember. And then like at the end, like towards Philadelphia just kind of like ran away with it, and that's how a lot of like Philadelphia's games has gone. So
Yeah, Washington was up like the majority of the game. Like they were going into the fourth quarter with the lead. Um, that doesn't mean they necessarily looked great, but they were doing enough to be in the lead. There were a lot of like missed opportunities from both teams, like the first 3 quarters of the game. Like a lot of just like settling for field goals, a lot of like 3-and-outs, a lot of punts. But yeah, the Eagles just kind of do what they always do and just find a way to win in the fourth,
yeah,
in a very stupid way. And
which is
then,
like whatever, you know. We all know that the Eagles are frauds. Like,
yeah, I mean,
okay,
they looked like the worst team for like the majority of this game, and then just decided to be like, okay, now we're gonna win. And like we've already talked about this a lot before, but this like isn't sustainable. And I don't know, the birds are just gonna continue to be the birds, and they win this like anticipated matchup here. I don't think Jaden Daniels looked great. Um, he didn't look terrible. Like, he certainly didn't lose in the game, but a lot of people were kind of expecting him to kind of like rise to the occasion, like a big primetime game against a rival, where like he could really prove himself. And he just kind of like had a so-so game.
right? And I mean, I talked to a Washington fan, and he was telling me that Washington sucks. Like, if you look at their record against above 500 teams, they lose.
Right.
Which I
I
mean,
mean,
okay, yeah, understandable, but like, well, that doesn't mean your team sucks. I'm
this
not
is
gonna.
also a team that like people didn't really have expectations for. They're kind of like overperforming, and like also keep in mind they're like a botched Hail Mary defense away from like being 6-5 instead of 7-4 right now. So
This is true,
all things
but
considered, like they probably kind of did outperform where their like talent level is. But
yeah, this is what their rebuild season.
yeah, this is just supposed to be a season like for rebuilding and like getting like Daniels comfortable. So despite this loss, I would still say like they're kind of in a much better spot than they were expecting to be in at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know that Philadelphia is going to end up like finishing losing like 5 out of their last 6 games. It's just what they do.
Of course,
It's a
yeah.
it's a Philadelphia thing.
The collapse is inevitable.
And I don't know about you, but I'm looking very forward to it.
Of course. My favorite time of the year, when the Eagles fall apart and the streets of Philadelphia just run with the salty tears of Eagles fans.
Love to
Jake
see it.
Elliott also missed 2 field goals pretty early on in the game.
This was definitely the week of missed field goals.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Sloppy game. Like the Commanders kind of look like what we thought they would be. So like whatever, but very another like very sloppy game from the Eagles where they just kind of decide to turn it on at the end. And better teams won't let you get away with that. Like you think they could like do that against like the Ravens and the Lions?
Maybe
No,
the Ravens, because the Ravens also sometimes have like second half issues, but
this is
definitely
true.
not the Lions.
Yeah, or even like the Chiefs and the refs.
Definitely the refs. Maybe not so
Yeah,
much. I don't know. Depends on what the score is, because the Chiefs, they come back in almost all of their games, but
right,
they're always only down by like 10 points. It's not the hardest point difference that
right.
they have to like overcome.
Yeah, so we'll see with the Eagles. Um, I think it's just like a case of one team that's kind of like underperforming what their record suggests, and another team that's kind of like overperforming. So
Can we go back to like week 2, week 3 when they were talking about firing Sirianni?
no, I want them to keep Sirianni. As an Eagles hater, I want them to keep him.
I mean, this is true. I wanted them to keep Matt Patricia.
Yeah, yeah, keep him on like was he like their defensive coordinator last year?
I think so. I don't remember. I don't remember. That was last year.
The dude that's been like hated by every team he's been on outside of the Patriots.
But anyway, I need to tape up this cup I'm drinking coffee from. We're not sponsored.
Yeah, no free promotion.
Let me see if I can find like some black tape while we're talking. I think I have a Sharpie somewhere here. But yeah, that's really all I got for this game.
Yeah, same here.
And just, again, story of an underperforming team versus an overperforming team, and that's the result. But anyway, um, next game we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Miami Dolphins, and let's see here. Tua, kind of like, got back to where we like know Tua to be, with his,
Right.
absolute slinging it of the ball. 28 for 36, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns, compared to Gardner Minshew's 30 for 43, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns with 1 interception. Probably one of his better games as of recent.
Yeah,
Um, but no,
but
we,
still
we
nowhere near enough.
yeah, nowhere near enough. Obviously, like Tua just throwing it. Devon Chan had a really good game with 1 touchdown, and just lost his stat. 73 yards on 17 carries. But yeah, Jonnu Smith being the lead receiver, which is a player whose name I am not very familiar with.
He's a tight end. He's played a couple of different places. Like he's pretty solid. But yeah, he kind of popped off. He even like outplayed Hill and Waddle, which is kind of unexpected. Um, One person on the Raiders that season been pretty bad offensively, but rookie first round tight end Brock Bowers has really been turning it on these past couple weeks, and a lot of people said like this dude is legit, like he's one of like the best tight end prospects ever, and he's really starting to look like it. Like he's been putting up some massive numbers. He put up 126 yards and a touchdown on Sunday, so pretty dang good. Pretty excited to see what Bowers can do. And he's starting. He looks like he's finally starting to like live up to that hype. So that's exciting. That's probably the one bright spot for the Raiders.
That and the draft pick.
That and the draft pick. Who knows? It could be anything, dude. It could even be another Brock Bowers.
Right. I do also want to point out that the Miami Dolphins are in second place in their division at 4-6.
Let's go. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible, guys. You just have to believe.
Just have to believe in playing a clown show of a division. We're that like the NFC East is just kind of like it's always just one team dominating, and then everyone else is trash. Like for years it was the Patriots,
You mean
and
the
now it's the
AFC?
Bills. Or yeah, sorry, AFC East. My bad. My mistake. But yeah,
All right.
Dolphins get the dub.
Yes, sir. Next game we have the Cleveland Browns at the New Orleans Saints. And I mean Jameis Winston he played exactly how we expected him to play. 30 for 46, 395 yards, and 2
Sir.
touchdowns.
Yes, sir. The Jameis Winston experience.
I mean, it was on a losing effort, 14 to 35, which is, really sad to see because throwing for over 400 yards and 2 touchdowns is what we want to see out of Jameis Winston. But Derek Carr, back to like his week 1 and 2 form, I guess. 21 for 27, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Taysom Hill, their running back, got 7 carries for 138 yards with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Mr. Swiss Army Knife. Swiss Army Knife, all-purpose Taysom Hill had a massive rushing game. He did throw an interception, but
Who threw an interception?
Taysom Hill.
He has a he threw?
Yeah, dude, he plays quarterback.
Oh,
He
I'm
plays
seeing
like
it here. Yeah,
quarterback.
I didn't see that stat. I'd
He
forgotten
can
about
like
that.
he can like play quarterback and running back and like receiver. He also had 50 yards receiving. So biggest game he's had in a while, and it's like he's a pretty interesting player. Like watching the ways the Saints can get him involved in different ways, and sometimes it doesn't really like amount to much, but this is like one of the games where he really popped off.
Another guy, I mean, like, it's not like he popped off, but like, you want to shine a little bit of light is MVS. He only had 2 receptions, but they totaled for 87 yards.
It's like the second week in a row he's done that, right? Just like
Yeah,
just had like one or two just like really long receptions, and he's just like, all right, that's it for me.
my work here is done.
My work here's done. Jerry Judy also had a big game. 142 yards on 6 receptions and a touchdown. Still in a losing effort, but he kind of had a return to form game. Like, we had saw him have some kind of big games on the Broncos and then kind of like fall off after a little bit. But good to see him kind of performing. The Browns kind of have the pieces.
They have some good players. I'm not going to say like they're like A-listers though.
I
mean, like,
believe in Jameis.
I mean, yeah, okay. You believe in Jameis. I mean, I am going to believe that he's going to make football great again.
Heck yeah.
But they got Nick Chubb, Jared Judy, who's kind of just okay.
The joke is pretty good.
Njoku is probably the best player on their team. Talent wise. They do have Elijah Moore.
They have Denzel Ward on the defensive side is pretty good.
When did they get Kadarius Toney?
Oh, they just elevated from the practice squad this week. He's back. Kadarius Toney's back. Immediately just puts up -7 receiving yards.
That's a stat.
That's Super Bowl champion Kadarius Toney to you.
That is correct. I mean, yeah, at least he's a Super Bowl champion. I can't say that. I'm not a Super Bowl champion.
Not yet. You can be a milk mile champion though.
Yeah.
But
watch my milk mile take like 34 minutes to complete.
I mean, I don't think anyone will blame you. You'll have a gallon of milk in you.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for the Brown Saints game.
Saints put the beat down on the Browns. Jameson throwing interceptions, so good job.
Good job. Um, this is our first money game, which came to me as a shock because this was the Indianapolis Colts versus the New York Jets. Colts winning 28-27 just by 1 point, right? However, the shock comes from I thought his eliteness Joe Flacco was playing, but no, they brought Anthony Richardson. They woke him up, took him out of bed, brought him in, and he played. He started actually. I think he did the entire game on his own. Yes, sir. And yeah, he went 20 for 30 attempts, 272 yards with 1 touchdown, no interception. They really fed the ball a lot to Jonathan Taylor here, even though his production wasn't great. Obviously, like when you have 24 carries, your average is probably expected to go down to 2.4 out of the 57 yards. But this is just like an absolute collapse of, oh, I just lost Chris. That's great. Well, I don't know what to do here. We are live. I guess we'll just continue to do it solo until he gets back. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers went 22 for 29, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Again, Breece Hall is the lead rusher, 16 carries for 78 yards and a touchdown. He also caught a touchdown receiving. And some news out of this game is that the Jets have fired one of their coaches, or I think it was their GM. Let me try to remember who it was really quick. Douglas. They fired Joe Douglas for some strange reason. This is probably like another instance of the Aaron Rodgers at the Green Bay Jets show, just kind of like putting playing the blame game, like spinning the bottle, like, okay, who can I blame this week for today's loss? And unfortunately, it just so happens to be the GM this time. But it's fine. They got that position filled out with Aaron Rodgers himself, probably. This is a joke. Please don't hurt me, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It's just MetLife Stadium. But I have word from Chris that his entire Wi-Fi went down. So we'll just continue until he shows up, whenever that is, hopefully. Next game we got is the Minnesota Vikings at the Tennessee Titans. Minnesota winning 23-13. Sam Darnold, 20 for 32, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns to Will Levis, who did come back, or who is back playing today, or not today, this game. 17 for 31, 295 yards, a touchdown and 1 interception. Big standout was just Aaron Jones, like, doing nothing. It sucks because he's on my fantasy team, and I cannot believe that he just did nothing. It's okay. This is fine. It's just continuing to secure that milk mile. I totally wanted to do it anyway. But yeah, Aaron Jones with being their lead rusher, 15 carries for 39 yards, 2.6 yards per carry on average. Yeah, wasn't great. They couldn't get that run game going. But good thing they got Justin Jefferson, who had 6 receptions for 81 yards, and then Jordan Addison for 3 receptions, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Cam Akers also had a touchdown as well. And the big story, or like controversy out of this game, is just the number of penalties that happened. against the Tennessee Titans. I'm looking at it here. The Vikings were only penalized 3 times for 35 yards, and the Titans were penalized 13 times for a total of 91 yards. Now, I know there was some Titans fans claiming that they were robbed this week during this game. And of course, like Vikings fans are going to come out and defend their victory against the Titans. And I do got to say that I believe that the Titans are like one of the most penalized teams in the league this season. So I fail to see how you were robbed if you got penalized a bunch when you're known for being a heavily penalized team this season. But that is just my opinion. And again, there's always like ticky tacky like calls, especially like out of 13. There's definitely going to be at least like one or two, and it's just hard, like playing a team or playing a game like this where it feels like you're playing against the refs, and even if it was genuinely like not rigged or whatever, ultimately like at some point it's going to weigh you down, just knowing that like, oh, there's a flag on the play and it's probably on us. Like, it's a huge like morale killer. Also, I don't think we got a funny Will Levis meme out of this week's game, so that's also a huge disappointment. Like, Titans, if you're gonna lose, at least have fun while doing it. But I guess you're trying to work up for that draft stock, so there's that. So did you really lose? Next game. I'm sorry if I'm blazing through all these games so quickly. I don't have that banter with Chris until he shows up. And I mean, I would like to talk about this game with him a little bit, but I guess we'll just have to get onto it. We have the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Green Bay Packers winning 20-19. One of the most heartbreaking losses for the Bears in this season, because they had a few. And no, I said one of the, not the, because again, it's a list, and it's just only getting more additions as every week progresses. The Packers continue their ownership of the Chicago Bears. They now have the longest standing record of one team dominating over another team. I think it's like 11 games now. I think the previous record was like the Chiefs owning the Broncos for like 16 or 17 games. So, we're approaching that point. I don't think it's gonna leave at any time. They do. I believe the Bears still have to play the Packers in Lambeau later in the season, and well, they were close, but not saying that Caleb Williams didn't help them not win. He definitely did his part, but if you're a Bears fan, I can only imagine you're hoping to see a little bit more out of Caleb Williams, because I mean, his performance is fine, but you're not gonna win game. Like, he can't. His performance isn't showing that he can just carry the team on his back. And I know completely different caliber of a QB, but like compared to someone like Joe Burrow, who it doesn't matter what the rest of the team is doing. Joe Burrow is going to put that team on his back, throw 5 touchdowns, and they'll still manage to lose. Caleb Williams is, he went 23 for 31, 231 yards, but no touchdowns. You did get a touchdown from DeAndre Swift. But yeah, like without throwing any touchdowns, unfortunately, Caleb Williams is going to continue to struggle to beat team. Well, not just Caleb Williams, but the Bears are just going to struggle to beat teams. Like, when you have the most, like, I turned in my homework assignment quarterback. I mean, yeah. But the Packers are a pretty decent team this season. Jordan Love, 13 for 17, 261 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. Josh Jacobs was their lead rusher, 18 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. And I mean, how close were the Bears to winning this game? Well, let me tell you how close they were. The Bears They were in field goal, right? All they had to do was kick the field goal, and they win. I'm trying to see if I can find it. What the yardage of that field goal was. But I'm not seeing it here. But Bears, they just get one field goal, and they can finally end the curse of being owned by the Packers. And it gets blocked. They took a page out of the Chiefs' game against the Broncos last week, and they borrowed the same script, just against a different team. A blocked field goal, and look, Chris is back. Oh, I think let me add up here. Welcome back.
We were so back. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't know how to pause the
Crap
live
internet.
stream, so I just
I don't
was
think you
like,
can.
"What?"
I don't think you can.
I don't think we can. It's probably one of the few. It's one of the faults of the live stream rather than like a recording, but it is what it is. Um, I was just talking about because I was like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to talk about the Colts and Jets and Vikings Titans. I went over the GM firing of the Jets. You know, the next
Yeah.
stage in the who do we blame roulette.
The next head to roll in this
Yeah.
Jets drama. Yeah, this is a very funny game. I think the Jets can no longer. There's like no absolutely like 0% copium. Like it's time to face the harsh reality. It's Jover. Um, this is their second year of having Rodgers, and I know they missed the majority of the first year with like that injury, but he's not
The
getting any
entire
younger.
season basically. He had
Yeah.
4 snaps.
Well, but the thing is, he's not getting any younger. He's not getting any more mobile after that injury. Um, I think it's safe to say the Rodgers experiment in New York, the Manhattan experiment, if you will,
Oh, the
uh,
Manhattan Project.
the Manhattan Project. I feel like this one was a resounding failure.
And then I talked about the Vikings Titans game about like how the Titans just got like a billion penalties.
Yeah, Titans got a billion penalties. Will Levis was Will Levis. I'm thinking he's probably cooked. You know, he was always like kind of a project quarterback, and they were hoping he could do like the Josh Allen thing, or just like drafting a dude with a big arm and like hoping for his accuracy to just get better, which is like one of the hardest things to teach. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, we've said it a million times, but he's probably not a starting caliber quarterback. He might not even be like a backup caliber guy at this point. But who knows? He might be an arena football legend.
Arena football.
He'll be able to throw the entire length of the field.
Maybe. But anyway. So there was that. And then when you entered, I was finishing up the Packers Bears game about how they borrowed the script from last week's Chiefs game for the blocked field goal.
For real, yeah. That was like a weird block because like it didn't look like it at first. Like when I was watching, I thought like the kicker just completely botched it. But then yeah, like a dude did get a finger on it, which is crazy. I thought the Bears like because I was like watching, I was like, no way, are the Bears actually gonna win? Are the Bears?
Yeah, they were this close.
I know. Which like what is this? Their fourth loss in a row now?
In a row, I'm not quite sure. I know this is like their 11th or 12th loss to the Packers, though.
Jesus. Yeah. After like kind of a hot start, the Bears have kind of been in a free fall. Caleb Williams has like not looked good the past couple of weeks. After looking like pretty solid, after looking like he's got it figured out, he's kind of regressed. But rookie season, we will see. But yeah, the Bears are in trouble, and even the Packers didn't look very good. Like they narrowly escaped this one with a win. Love didn't pass it a ton. I
I just
think.
want to point out that Malik Willis is still undefeated.
Come on now. Come on.
I'm sorry. I had to bring it up.
I know. You're the number one Malik Willis truther.
Yep. Yes, sir, I am.
Jordan Love could throw 10 picks in the game, and I would still trust him more than Malik Willis, even though he didn't look bad. He looked like actually pretty decent backup quarterback. Christian Watson had a huge game, 150 yards on 4 receptions. But yeah, I don't know. Their offense couldn't get much going. Like it doesn't seem like their game plan was to really even pass the ball that much. But their run game couldn't really get going. Like Josh Jacobs only got 76 yards on 18 carries, which a guy like Josh Jacobs you kind of expect a little more. So I don't know. Packers just look kind of weird these past couple of weeks. Love really hasn't been having an incredible season. Especially given how hot his finish to last season was. Like people were thinking this is it. The Packers just found their guy for the next decade. And not to say that he's not the guy. I think he still is a good starting quarterback for them. And he's a competent player, but I don't know, maybe the ceiling's not as high as we once thought it was.
I'm not sure. I think that that the Packers overall are just in a good place. Like so many of their players are just are still young. It's like the opposite of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Where the team is just full of aging veterans.
Right, and they just live or die with their ancient quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I said overall they're in a good place, but I don't know. I feel like the performance could be a little better right now.
What's that saying? A win's a win, I guess.
Win's a win.
But yeah, like I said, I was just finishing that up when you got back here.
Yeah. Again, my bad, everyone.
It's okay. It happens, dude.
My bad, gang.
But yeah. That being said, you ready to get into the Lions Jaguars game?
Yeah.
This is going to be a very easy game to review. So Jacksonville Jaguars at the Detroit Lions, losing 6-52. I mean, they started Mac Jones, 17 for 29, 138 yards with an interception. That's pretty much all they got. That's the story out of it. Meanwhile, Jared Goff, 24 for 29, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. David Montgomery, 15 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 11 receptions, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shall I continue?
Jameson Williams, also had a big game. 4 receptions, 174 yards, and a touchdown.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries, 69 yards. Nice. 6.3 yards average and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we expected. We are who they thought they were. And we let them off the hook. But yeah, it's a good old beat down. The Lions. Yeah, I don't know. I think they look like the team to beat. Crazy, I know. Hot take alert. The Lions are the team to beat the NFC. Hot take.
Hot take. The Detroit Lions are looking like the best team in the NFC after having 4 weeks in a row of just putting up like 30 plus points.
Yeah, they've been playing some real good ball. And the Jaguars, yikes. Yeah, that's all I could say.
Yeah, yikes.
Yikes.
All right. Like you said, what did we expect?
Yeah.
All right, here's another money game. I'm just pointing out that these are getting more common as we move along through the season. We have the Los Angeles Rams at the New England Patriots, and the Rams winning 28-22. Matthew Stafford, 18 for 27 yards, 295 yards with 4 touchdowns. To Drake Mays, 29 for 39, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. I mean, it was a pretty decent game for the Patriots if, when you compare it to what they're used to, while they're not winning, I think that their overall like gameplay and stuff has improved since bringing in Drake May and starring him.
Yeah.
If you don't remember, if our listeners do not remember, Drake May did not start the season. They drafted him and they did not have him starting. Who did they have starting?
Jacoby Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett and
Captain check down.
I mean, they got what, like two wins?
I think they did, yeah, but it was in a very boring way. And even though they didn't win, and in fact this game wasn't really even as close as the score looked. Like the Patriots put up like 9 points late in the fourth quarter. I still think Drake May like looked pretty decent, not like incredible, but like he looked like a competent quarterback. 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, made some really nice throws, but yeah, it just wasn't enough to win it. Patriots continuing to be a bad team, which is still crazy. That's still kind of jarring to me, seeing the Patriots be this bad. But that's the way it goes. And the Rams get back to 500. Nakua and Cup also both had huge games. And Matthew Stafford just continues like the super up and down season, like just being bad one week and then being good. Like he had 4 touchdowns on Sunday. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking with this pick.
You were thinking, oh, I'm gonna unintentionally throw away the buffalo wings.
No, not true. I thought I was cooking.
By the way, I was driving around town earlier today, and I saw this place that was called Buffalo Bell, I think is what it was, and it's called Buffalo Bell Wings and More or something like that.
That place is good.
Never been
one
there.
on Old Nogales Highway, right?
It's nearby it.
Nearby, yeah. That place is bomb. That place is really good. That has the certified Chris seal of approval.
I definitely got to try that place out. I do want to. This is like an off-season thing, right? But I want to get like a bunch of buffalo wings from different places around town and do a blind taste test with you.
That sounds incredible. I'm so down.
Just like, all right.
I'll probably be able to identify where they're from.
What if it's from a place you've never had them from before?
Unlikely.
Probably, I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Yes, but anyway, I'm very interested in that.
All right, let's start getting our donations because that is not going to be cheap.
No, for real. No, it is not.
Like, I can't just go up to like B-Dubs and like, hey, can I get like 1 buffalo wing for a blind taste test? Like, they're like, no.
You gotta get like the
You got to get like the whole like 18 pack or whatever it is.
That's what's wrong with this country. You can't just get one wing.
Yeah, that is what's wrong with this country. You can't even do that. Like, I remember Native. I don't know if you've been to Native, very much, but they used to like, oh, you want exactly 3 wings? Here you go, sir. Now you can only
Right.
order it in packs of like 5.
Terrible. Terrible.
Anyway, you ready for the next money game?
I'm ready.
Because I'm very excited about this one. This was the Black Magic game.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
The Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Ravens losing 16-18. And I mean, like, you want to talk about black magic? Like, this is absolute witchcraft. The Baltimore Ravens, just last 2 weeks, were looking like the best team in the NFL, or at least in the AFC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or not NFC, AFC, right? And they lose to Russell Wilson on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Let's ride.
Who scored exactly 0 touchdowns. Imagine losing to a team that remember, you are probably one of the best looking teams in the conference, and you just lost to a division rival who scored no touchdowns.
Yikes. That's Steelers football. I'm not surprised that the Steelers won that way, but I am surprised that the Ravens lost that way.
The
that being said,
Steelers now lead the division.
Yeah, I think a pretty commanding lead in the division. I don't know what
Steelers go to Super Bowl.
Maybe Steelers gone to Super Bowl.
Steelers Lions is the Super Bowl I'm calling.
Oh man, that's like the factory bowl right there. Factory workers of the U.S. rejoice. But yeah, which like that's good. They need a dub. I would like that. But I'm really confused by the Ravens' game plan on this one, and like a lot of people have also brought this up. Like they only rushed Derrick Henry 13 times. That's kind of ridiculous, especially considering the season he's having. I know the Steelers are pretty good at stopping the run, but that's Derrick Henry, dude. Lamar Jackson only like 4 carries as well, which is like that's like part of what made their offense so good. Like that, just like dual threat of like either Henry or Jackson can take it. But yeah, I don't know. They like were like a pass first team this week when like their running game is just so lethal.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I'd say that this like I get it. The Steelers are good at stopping that, but like if your run game is good as like it's supposed to be, which like I think it is, then they should like be able to deal with it. But like they seem to just like abandon it entirely, and it kind of lost in the game.
Did you catch that? That was my phone. I'm sorry about that. Let me turn off my notification sounds.
Is that like a siren?
No, it's a Moogle from Final Fantasy.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Lamar Jackson missed more than half of his throws.
That's crazy.
16 for 33. He did still get 207 yards, but he threw an interception, and a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really get this game plan here, folks. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were cooking here.
Well, what can I say? They got what they deserve.
Yeah. I just feel like if they committed to the run more, they'd probably win this game. But
I don't know about that. I genuinely don't know. I mean,
that's fair. Like
that Steelers D line, I don't know if you can just run against it.
But I mean, it's not just anyone though. It's Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, dude. Like not only they're both like both great runners, but like the fact that you have both of them on the field, they can really do like a lot of like misdirection and like tricky stuff. I feel like they should have been able to get more than they did.
Maybe. But yes, I called this game. I told you.
Yeah, you like the Steelers break the Ravens.
And no, you were doubting me. You were doubting me.
I know. Silly me.
Silly you.
Silly me.
Black magic always wins.
Yeah. The standard is the standard.
I remembered about my marker to block out the logo, but it's drying out, so pretend that there's scribbles on it. We're not giving free advertisement.
Yeah. Don't look at the logo.
I'll turn off my camera every time I want a drink of coffee.
Oh, smart. Okay.
But anyway,
that was the Ravens and the Steelers.
Next game, we have the Seattle Tunas versus the San Francisco 49ers. And I mean, the Tunas winning 20-17, trading with the Niners for the divisional record. Geno Smith looked okay, I guess, with a question mark.
He had a Geno Smith game.
Yeah, 25 for 32, decent. 221 yards, decent. No touchdowns and an interception. What? Meanwhile, you have Brock Purdy, 21 for 28 yards, 21 for 28 attempts, 159 yards, one touchdown, and an interception. One of the what do they call it? More disappointing performances out of Brock Purdy this season. And what's really weird about him like having one of his worst games this season so far, at least like in performance wise, is I think he had like 4 out of his like 5 starting like all pro lineup players. Like
Yeah.
he has.
I mean, the only person out at this point is IU.
Yeah, exactly. He has McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo. They still have, Nick Bosa on defense, right? And yet he can only manage to put up 17 points, like with his all pro lineup.
Yeah, also has that like great O line. This is something I've been predicting for a while. The downfall of Brock Purdy. And I've just known he's fraudulent and a system QB. And I just feel very vindicated. The thing is, I actually did not think I knew like Purdy was just gonna be mid, but I thought like this team was gonna start playing better once McCaffrey came back, and I still think they are keeping him kind of limited, but it's just like, wow, they just still like don't look good. And I mean, this is the team that went to the Super Bowl last year, dude, and it's like relatively the same team. And
it is mostly the same team, I think.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't like if you can argue that it isn't the same team, their team only made improvements during the off season.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. Very rough season in San Francisco, and I don't know. I mean, in that division, well, the Cardinals are starting to pull away a little bit.
Only by one game.
Only by one game, and the Niners still do have one game against them, so it's not quite like over for them yet. But they really just like aren't showing signs of getting better. They're like not trending in the right direction, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I genuinely have no idea. I thought they were gonna like be really good again this year, and CMC went down, but now he's back. But I don't know. They just still look mid, dude. Like,
I mean, I know a lot of people were like, oh, it's as soon as CMC comes back, they're going to be winning games and all this. And look, what they're not doing anything.
No, dude.
And I'm not going to say that they lost to a quality opponent. They lost to Seattle. Like,
Another very mid team.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, we live in a crazy time where we can confidently say that Seattle is better than the Niners this season.
That's crazy. Well, you know what? I mean, I think they were better, like up until like a couple seasons ago. So maybe this is just a return to like at least like the modern norm. I think like recently they have been better than the Niners.
I don't know. They definitely weren't better last season.
Not last season, the one before, but I think. No, maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe not.
Count the number of Super Bowl rings, and that'll tell you which team is better.
They're definitely better in like the prime Russ era.
And yet they still only got one ring to show for it.
Yeah, but they were one bad play call away from getting two.
Yeah, can you describe that play for us for the Tuna fans in the audience?
Yeah, remember Seahawks fans? Remember when all you had to do was run the ball with Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line? You passed it, and you threw a pig.
Not
Remember
just
that?
any pick. Like, what an absolute read from like the defense to be like, oh,
Yeah,
immediately realize that they're not gonna run it and just swoop
just all
inside.
over it. Yeah.
Swoop that ball.
Well, I hope it was worth your attempt. There's like a lot of rumors that like Carroll made that call specifically because he wanted Russell Wilson to be the MVP instead of Marshawn Lynch. So I hope it
Really?
was worth it. Yeah, I mean that's like nothing's proven, obviously, but that's what people say. Because like Russ was kind of like the golden boy of the franchise. So
I mean, I guess that would make sense, but ouch, my hip just popped.
oof, we're getting old.
Well, I mean, last week you were calling me Unk.
Yeah, I was calling myself on too, though.
I'll never forgive you for that.
But yeah, weird season for the Niners, and it's like for the Niners, like 5-5, very weird. For the Seahawks, right on expectations, right around where we expected you to be. So that's my takeaway from this game.
Yeah. Well, three people in that division are 5-5.
Crazy.
What an absolute garbage of a division. Now, I think you might want to take the lead on this next game. We have the Atlanta Falcons at the Denver Broncos.
You know, one day on a whim, when we were recording this, I was like, you know what? I like the vibes I'm getting from the Broncos right now. I like the vibes I'm getting from Bo Nix. I feel like they're gonna win out. Now, unfortunately, that hasn't happened. They were a blocked field goal away from beating the Chiefs.
They also got demolished by the Ravens.
They did get demolished by the Ravens, who are just a solidly better team than them. But now we're back. Now they're winning out. Now they're doing it. They decimated the Falcons. Bo Nix is looking legit, dude.
Like what?
He's looking legit.
Okay, I thought I heard something else.
No.
I was like, no, now we have to edit that out.
Bo Nix is looking like the real deal. I know he's only been hot for like a couple games now, but like he's just been making all the right throws. He's looked like very poised in the pocket. And yeah, I don't know. He's looking really confident right now. And once again, the Falcons.
Yeah,
The team. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, continue.
The team that just resists interpretation. Just each week, I just understand them less and less. And they just put up a complete just nothing burger of a game, only scoring 6 points, just off 2 field goals in the first half. Um, Kirk Cousins was not good, only 173 yards and interception, which he's been having like a pretty solid season up until this point, but solid to good, but he just really didn't show up today, and there's only so much you can do when your quarterback doesn't show up. Bijan Robinson barely did anything, which, like, again, supposed to be like, dude, when they drafted him, like, I think it was like 2 years ago now, like, so much hype, dude. Like, people are like, this is like a generational running back. This is like the next, like, Saquon. Um, and it's like he's shown flashes. Like, he's had some really good games, but like he just couldn't get it done against the Broncos. Kyle Pitts, another super hyped prospect, just nowhere to be found. Drake London has probably like been their best receiver this year. Only had 61 yards and 3 receptions. Not a terrible game, but like kind of not where you want your top receiver to be.
Mm-hmm.
Cousins like took a couple bad sacks, which like he's gonna do that. Cousins, like, he's not a mobile guy, and he's just gonna go down sometimes. And he did take a couple unfortunate sacks, but yeah, I don't know. After the Falcons beat the Buccaneers a couple weeks ago, I'm like, they're like decisively in the driver's seat of this division, which I still think they will win it, just because like the rest of the division is kind of dead. But it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They're just incredibly confusing. Like, they can look really good one week, and then just get smashed the next week. And I don't know. Here we are. This is where it gets you. You're running into a Broncos team that has a lot to prove. They want to get back after like getting destroyed by the Ravens, and you kind of got caught in the stampede. They weren't ready.
They weren't ready.
They were not ready. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's my take on this game. It's just Broncos good, perhaps. Broncos good, question mark.
I'd say they're okay. I'm not gonna say that they're bad, but like,
I'm seeing a lot of bright spots here, dude. I'm seeing a lot of like interesting pieces.
I don't know. Like, the Broncos definitely aren't like what I would do to be like. Look, if my team had the record of the Denver Broncos, I'd be pretty happy. So,
Have they played the Chargers yet? I'm sure they have.
they have. They played the Chargers October 13th, and they lost.
Okay.
They lost to the Chargers once.
I'm excited to see them play again.
They do have some very winnable games coming up. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win out. I'm gonna say like winnable, right?
Right.
But think they can make a run for the playoffs?
Yeah, I just think this team has good vibes right now.
I'm trying to. I mean, let me see what the rest of the AFC is looking like. No, there's no shot, dude. Cause you have Bills, Steelers, Texans, right? And then Chiefs, right? So that's your 4. And then you get what, 3 wild card spots?
Yeah.
And if we're just off of right now, Ravens are getting 1, Chargers are getting 1. So I mean, they could be the 7th seed. Could be, but they would need to beat the Colts in like 2 weeks from now.
I think they're a better team than the Colts.
And they do have. I mean, other than the Colts, like that's it. Like they're 2 games ahead of the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins could clutch that 7th seed.
No.
If the Broncos can hold out, but it really would depend. If the Broncos beat the Colts, then the 7th seed is the Broncos. It's the Broncos to lose.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting. They're a very interesting, intriguing team. I'm excited to see how they're going to play the Chargers in a couple weeks. But yeah, I mean that's everything on this game. This was like a very interesting game to me because these are two teams I've kind of had my eye on for opposite reasons. One, for it's like an interesting rookie team, and another one that's just like I'm trying to just like figure out what their grind is.
Right. Um, I do want to point out that like when you compare the AFC, like trying to like figure out the playoff picture, you can kind of like okay, maybe this, maybe that, right? Like there's still like a lot of what ifs in the working. I'm looking at the NFC for its playoff picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eagles, Commanders, Cardinals, Lions, Vikings, Packers, Falcons. And the Falcons are only there because somebody has to win that division.
Right.
Like I can almost confidently say that that is going to be the playoff picture.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Like, barring like any like insane collapses.
I mean, the Cardinals can collapse and lose the division, and like we see any one of the other three teams in the NFC West.
The ultimate mid off.
But I think the Cardinals in their division have let's see. The Cardinals in their own division, let's see here. They lost to the Rams, but they beat the Niners. So they have 2 games against the Tunas, one more game against the Rams, and one more game against the Niners. So that's really the only division where like okay, somebody can still like swap like mix things up. Obviously if the Cardinals beat the Seahawks, sorry, the Tunas, um, then we know that the Cardinals are probably just going to win it because who you know they could trade, sure, but if they end up just trading with their 2 games, the Cardinals still just have like that one, the one extra game.
Right. Right.
Um, Same thing with the Rams. And then same thing with like any of like the Niners and the Rams. The only one that could make a run for it, I think, would be the Seattle Tunas, purely because they have 2 games left to play.
Yeah, but like even then, like they look pretty mid. So I think the run will kind of be a stretch. But I don't know. There's a lot to talk about there because like we talked about earlier, like each game has more and more implications as the season continues. But we're starting to get a good picture of who's going to be in it and who's not, who's out of it. So
Right. Anyway, that was the Falcons Broncos. Now the game that should have been the Sunday night, Chiefs at Bills.
yeah, this was a banger. Oh, this is a
It,
pretty good game.
it was a good game. We had the Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills losing 21-30. Patrick Mahomes 23 for 33, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions to Josh Allen's 27 for 40, 262 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and in a very, very, very entertaining touchdown to finish the game off. Well, not completely finish it, but seal the game.
Yeah, the streak is over. Josh Allen said no more. The
Refs couldn't bail out the Chiefs on this one.
refs had to keep it believable, and Josh Allen really just had like a super big statement play at the end of the game. Like the Bills they were up like a field goal, I believe, or maybe it was like less. It was like 2 points, but Josh Allen just like punches it in from like the 30-yard line, just like a crazy run, score a touchdown, and put it out of the reach at the end of the game, and Bills Mafia was going crazy.
Yeah, they were up by a field goal.
They're up by a field goal, and then Josh Allen just puts it away. That monster run.
26-yard run on a 4th down.
Yeah, absolute beast. Crazy play. But other than that, not like a crazy offensive game. Like Allen was good, and Mahomes just continues like his weird like mid streak. He did have 3 touchdowns, but only threw for like 196 yards and had two picks. One of them was really like a bad one, where you're just trying too hard, trying to do too much, and like throwing it across his body, and, like threw it right into a Bills defender. And Bills offense didn't really get much going either. Amari Cooper did have like one really nice catch on the sideline, but it wasn't like it wasn't like an insanely high scoring game that you might expect from these teams.
Right. But Patrick Mahomes just having one of probably the worst game of the season. And that's not saying a lot, actually, because I mean he's just looked so mid the entire season so far.
Yeah. He did have 3 touchdowns, but they were on kind of. I think one of them was like on a like long like worthy run. The other one was just kind of like short throws.
10-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes to Xavier Worthy.
Oh, it was only 10 yards. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Worthy did kind of have like a pretty solid game as well. Like they've kind of been waiting for him to break out because he's like another like first round draft pick this year, and he's the dude that broke the 40-yard dash record for receivers. So
Yeah. And so he hit the fastest 40-yard dash, and everyone was like, "Yeah, let's let the Bills were like, yeah, Kansas City, you can have our first round draft pick."
yeah, for real. Yeah, and people were like expecting like this dude to like immediately just pop off with Mahomes, but it hasn't quite happened. But
I mean, he's been good.
I'd say he's been fine. Now he had a good game on Sunday. But there's been a couple games where like he hasn't really produced much, which like it could be more of a product of the Chiefs' offense just having like a weird down year. But yeah, I don't know. Even like DeAndre Hopkins hasn't really looked like incredible outside of like maybe one game. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs.
They're boring. That's what they are.
They are boring. I think maybe they're just like we don't even have to try in the regular season anymore. That's my theory. And they know they don't even have to like play it like full power.
Yeah, this is basically the preseason for them, which
Yeah.
I mean is an insane statement to say, but they could not. I mean they could, end up not winning the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, especially now that the Bills have the tiebreaker. The Chiefs still have one less loss.
Are you forgetting about the Pittsburgh Steelers? The Steelers are also 8-2.
Yeah, the Bills are 9-2.
Well, the bye week.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so the Bills have played one more game than the Steelers have. I think. Is that how it works? Yeah. So I'm just saying that the Chiefs, if they lose, then we have 3 9-2 team. Well, Steelers would also need to win another game, but yeah, we could have 3 9-2 teams. Yeah, and since the Bills would have the tiebreaker,
it could be interesting.
It could be
I would love to
interesting.
see the Bills steal that 1 seed. I just want to see them. I want to see another Bills Chiefs playoff game as well because those have never disappointed.
I just want to not see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Well, we'll see what Taylor and the rest have to say about that.
Yeah, what the script has in store for us.
Yeah, but yeah, the Bills take it. Big statement win. Hand the Chiefs the first loss of the season.
Which, I mean, they should have gotten their first loss of the season like week 1.
For real.
And week 2. And 4. And 6. And 7. And 8. And 9. Like,
Yeah, they should be 0-11 right now.
I'm not gonna say 0-11, but they definitely like the Chiefs 100%, in my opinion, should be like 6-4
Oh wow.
at the
I mean,
very
that's how
least.
their offenses look like. The offense of a 6-4 team. So
I mean,
that
you
makes sense.
look, they should have lost to the Ravens in week 1. They should have lost to the Bengals week 2.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll give their win in week 3. I think it was to the Chargers. Was it week 3?
I think
Oh
so.
no, it was to the
Just
Falcons.
literally
They
there's-
beat the Falcons. They actually should have lost that one.
Oh right, I remember that
Yeah.
one.
So,
Just
so
had that penalty. Yeah.
yeah, they should have lost that one. So then week 4, okay, they beat the Chargers, sure, right? So they should be 1-3 at this point. Going into week 5. Week 5, who did they beat?
Saints.
Saints. Okay, pretty decisive, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're 2-3. Um,
They
who did
beat the
they
Niners pretty decisively.
they played the Niners?
Yeah.
No, in week 6 the Niners played the Tunas. I
Oh
think they
well,
had to bye.
the Chiefs had a bye in week 6. They played
Uh,
the Niners in week 7.
yeah. Yeah. So that would be like 3-3 on week 7. Week 8,
Play the Raiders.
Raiders. Yeah. Okay. That's a bye week. 4-3. Uh, the Buccaneers. I'll give them that one. It's not. It's not like they won because of the refs. So they're again they're like what, like 5-3 or something like that. And then the Broncos should have beat them. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's your 6-4 right there.
Wow, right on the money.
Yeah. I'm so good
Yeah.
at this game, guys.
I know the predictions have been getting crazier. But yeah,
Well,
that was
6-5, I guess, because of the Bills' loss or whatever. But
oh right. That was Chiefs of Bills.
yeah. Anyway, not Monday, Sunday Night Football. There we go. We have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers almost chargered it. They had, 24 points in the first half to Cincinnati 6. Cincinnati started to come back. He scored 14 points in the third quarter. Los Angeles had got 3, extended their lead to 27. So they were up by a touchdown, I believe, if my math is correct. But going into the fourth quarter, it was close. And look, Joe Burrow is the best quarterback on the worst team. Like the Bengals are the best 4-7 team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow's looked good. He's actually had like a pretty great season. Higgins and Chase had big games. It's just that defense that's just really been letting them down. They let Herbert and Dobbins. Herbert had like a pretty solid passing game. Like kind of a lot of incompletions, but he still like threw it down the field and got 297 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dobbins had some really big rushes as well. Especially he had a big one to like end the game to like put them up in that final touchdown. And yeah, the defense just really kind of was just letting the Chargers do whatever they want. And really unfortunate because they're just kind of wasting like one of Burrow's best years. But
Same thing happened last season too.
yeah, Bengals, they're probably cooked at this point, I'd imagine.
I mean, yeah, they're almost definitely cooked. Just in record and everything, but at least Burrow's just balling out, I guess. But
It's so weird because there's this team where it's like everyone and like myself included was like, no, they're gonna figure it out, they're gonna turn it around, and they just kind of haven't done it. Now it's probably too late.
Evan McPherson also missed 2 field goals.
He did. My friend who's a Bengals fan messaged me during this game. He's like, "I'm gonna kill McPherson in Minecraft."
In
Um,
Minecraft. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for that clarification.
um, but yeah, the Chargers are 7-3 now.
Shh. Don't tell the rest of the league that.
Don't tell the rest of the league that, and don't tell the Chargers that.
Yeah. Um. That being said, think Chargers could steal the division from the Chiefs?
I don't know. They already lost to them once.
They could trade.
They could trade.
If they trade, then that puts the Chiefs at 2 to the Chargers 3. I'm counting losses here, so that only puts them 1 game apart.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the Chargers have some pretty winnable games in the future. Like they have to play the Raiders, the Patriots. They're losing to the Broncos though.
Yeah,
Damn.
they are losing the Broncos. I
They're
think
playing.
that's just gonna do it to them.
Yeah.
That's gonna put them out of it.
Dang.
So yeah, I mean, even like they're probably gonna make the playoffs still, which is good. You know,
Maybe. Probably.
it probably will. I mean, they could collapse. No team has collapsed yet. Like all the teams that are bad have been bad. So
This is true.
it's got to happen to somebody.
Well, obviously the Eagles.
Of course. I mean, but they're the Eagles.
This is true.
That's a given.
Speaking of collapsing, I want to talk about our next game.
Oh, you want to talk about collapse?
Yeah. The sky is quite literally falling for Dallas.
The sky is falling and the sun is in our eyes.
The sun is in our eyes. The sky is falling quite literally. The stadium is falling apart. It's given up on Dallas. And I was talking to my father, and he was telling me that the guy who owned the Cowboys before Jerry Jones, when they had the old stadium, it was called the Astrodome, I believe. It had an open top, right? And it was this dome, but it was open, and everyone was always asking the owner, "Why do you not have a sealed dome?" And he said, the owner was quoted saying, "So that God could watch us play."
Right, I've heard that.
And well, I think this was a sign from the universe saying, "Close the dome. I don't want to see it."
We don't want to see this anymore.
Yeah. What a statement. We can use Cowboys lore to say God has also given up on the Dallas Cowboys.
God has left the Cowboys.
Yeah, God has left the chat.
The Dallas Cowboys lose 10-34 on their home turf against the Houston Texans.
Yeah. Why did I say Tennessee Texans?
Well, the Titans did used to be the Texans.
Houston Oilers, not
the
Texans.
Oilers. That's right, the Oilers. My bad.
I mean, CJ Stroud just kind of he had an okay game, but ultimately this was the bounce back that he needed.
Yeah, he had a solid game after a couple bad games.
Yeah.
Still not incredible, but he looked better than he did.
Right. Joe Mixon just had an absolute crazy game. I don't want to talk about.
He had something 153 total all-purpose yards. 3 rushing touchdowns. Did he have a receiving touchdown? No. But he did have some big receiving yards. And yeah, I mean, this is just another installment of the days of our Cowboys.
Right, and I can definitely make a whole episode ranting about how all of these problems just come from coaching. That's what this is.
Yep. Brandon Aubrey missed a field goal. That's how you know the sky really is falling.
Like, yeah, this is Murphy's law. Like, what else could go wrong? You got the stadium falling apart, and now Mr. Automatic
And
missing
one of the,
one.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the seven plagues.
Yeah,
Brandon Aubrey missing.
it's definitely like at least like if not the first, it's definitely like the second horseman of the apocalypse.
Yeah. Um, Trey Lance just doesn't see the field again, which really tells me that they just don't believe in him at this point.
Look, I will say this, right? Because I don't want to like make like a big special out of like the disappointment that is the Dallas Cowboys this season, but I've been a pretty big like defender of like the whole like picking up Trey Lance for a fourth round, right? And I've
Right.
been a pretty big defender of like let's see him play. But that being said, I don't know if you saw, but the Dallas Cowboys signed in free agency former Patriots QB Will Grier.
Oh boy, I did see that.
And it's like, okay, why? Okay, we're on the losing season. Season's over. Like mathematically, like we're eliminated from playoff contention at this point. Well, maybe not completely mathematically, but you get the idea, right?
Right.
And Cooper Rush isn't getting it done for. It's not happening. Why are we not playing Trey Lance? And
He
again,
must
like
be that bad.
he has to be that bad. Like I don't understand. How can you sign somebody who failed on the Patriots years ago? A washed up, not even backup tier quarterback from a forgotten era of a very sorry team,
Yeah.
and say that's our guy. Sit down, Trey. Like, how bad is Trey Lance? That really makes me like super curious. And the really sad part is, like, I still feel like I have to defend that move of getting Trey Lance. Like, it was only a fourth rounder. Like, I thought he didn't. It's not like Trey Lance looked horrible. He got some wins with the Niners squad. So like, why are we not using like why?
He really just has to be that bad. Like
He
that's my
has to be like
explanation. Yeah.
McCarthy has to like again. Maybe it's not McCarthy's decision, right? Maybe it could be Jerry Jones' decision ultimately, right?
Right.
But somebody is deciding that this guy is not good enough, and it's like, okay, how you want to tell me that that guy, Trey Lance, you're looking at him in the practice squad, and you're like, oh, he's totally not good enough to get more than 10 points? No, there's no way. There's no way you can tell me that you can look that like Dallas staff is saying, "Oh, this guy can't get us more than 10 points."
Maybe that's the case.
I just I can't believe I have a hard time believing that. I
Maybe he's
really
just
do.
ready to be a. What's that secondary league called now? It's like AFL or
The spring league, right?
yeah,
Uh, UFL, United Football
UFL league.
League.
He's about to be the UFL MVP. He's about to be a UFL legend.
Yeah. Well, we will see. We will see. That being said, though, yeah. I think from now on, I think I'm going to predict Dallas to just lose out because we're winning with that by securing that draft pick at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah. Last time they had a season this bad, they got Micah Parsons out of it. So maybe they'll get another good player, or who knows? Maybe we'll draft another Michigan interior lineman that just doesn't do anything.
I don't know, man. I was really excited for this season, and this is what we get. And you know what? I am going to be rooting for the downfall. I want to see Trey Lance play. I want to see Mike McCarthy fired, and I want to see Dallas live in January with, by paying like $40 a ticket.
For real.
Maybe less. Come on, Dallas, make it happen.
You want to. You know you want to.
It's
It's all traffic.
Let me get that music playing so we can do our outro here. Unless you got anything else you'd like to add.
No, I mean that's it. That was week 11, gang.
That was Chris said. As the try to point, the green screen is kind of difficult to work
And
with.
I've been.
He's figuring it out, guys.
Chris. There you go. Point myself
Yeah, I've been your host
right here.
right here.
This guy.
You know who's winning wings? This guy. Anyway,
End the show.
let us know what you thought of what'd you say?
I said end the show.
End the show, yeah.
End the
Anyway, let us know what you think. Leave your comments, whatever. And we'll catch you on the next episode when we do Before the Point. As you know, we're gonna give our predictions there, and look forward to seeing you. And as always, thanks for watching. And see you in the next episode, or
Thank you.
whatever. Outros are hard.